I am Supreme, and today's Astro Oracle investigation will be on Jennifer Kesse. Jennifer Kesse is an Orlando, Florida woman who vanished without a trace on January 24th, 2006, at the age of 24. Despite being one of Florida's most high-profile missing person cases, it remained unsolved for nearly 2 decades. However, as of early 2026, today is March 17th, 2026. The investigation has reached a critical turning point, with authorities declaring the case no longer cold. Now, the reason why I'm doing the reading is because no arrests have been made. Jennifer Kesse still has not been heard of or found. So as far as I'm concerned, the case is still cold. Okay, but we're going to warm this case up. We're going to crack the ice today because I am Supreme. I am a high-ranking Astro Oracle psychic who communicates with the living and the dead. And I am going to conduct a high-ranking Astro Oracle psychic investigation on Jennifer Kesse. Now, shouts out to a viewer and subscriber of mine. They actually suggested this reading through my email. And I do get suggestions from my email. So I don't expose, because I feel like if you emailed me, you probably don't want to be publicly shout out. Some people prefer to be unknown, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, but I do appreciate, and I want to give you that respect. Okay, but you know who you are, and I appreciate you for suggesting this content. This is a very interesting case. It received a lot of media coverage. If you go to any search engine and type in Jennifer Kesse, you will see so much media coverage pop up all over YouTube and the social medias and Facebooks and Instagrams and Reddit. And oh my God, you'll see so much on this case. I've watched a few podcasts on this case. So I am tuned in to a lot of energy, and I know this reading is going to be spot on because I'm full of this Jennifer Kesse energy. Okay, so let's get down to the timeline. Following the Florida Department of Law Enforcement taking over the case from local police in 2022, several major developments have occurred. New DNA evidence. Investigators discovered and began testing that was previously overlooked or never tested. DNA found on evidence that was previously overlooked or never tested. Now, advanced AI analysis. The Kesse family and investigators are utilizing artificial intelligence to analyze over 16,000 pages of case files and enhanced grainy surveillance footage. The reason why they're using AI to detect who this person was in the footage is because Jennifer Kesse's car was found a mile away from where she lived at in an apartment complex. And there was a person that they saw on surveillance footage parking her car and walking away. But it just so happened, the way the footage was set up, there is a fence between the footage and the person. I don't know if it's probably like an iron gate, but however, you can see the person walking past the surveillance footage, but different parts of the fence at a time where you should have been able to see either their face or their color, or whether it was a man or a woman. It just so happened that part of the fence was hiding that area. So you really couldn't see. All you saw was the body. You saw it had on like white clothing and black shoes, but that was it. You don't know whether it was a man or a woman or what race the person was. None of that. So this is why they're using AI to detect. You know, AI has a way of detecting body parts, ears, nose, hands, arms of people on file, and whatever AI does, AI does what AI does. AI is very powerful. Okay, it's artificial intelligence. However they set that up is powerful. Okay, but as far as I'm concerned, it's not as powerful as this reading that I'm about to conduct. Okay, with my spiritual technological devices called oracle cards that I created, me and my spirit team. I have about 20 different decks that I created that's designed for me to tap in to the ethers to get information. Each deck is designed for a specific purpose of information that I need. Tuning into the energy. Always remember, the oracle is in the person. It's in our hands because I am the oracle. So whatever I place my hands to do, it's going to do the reading. My energy is going to speak through the cards. However, the oracle is not in the cards, it's in the person. So, I want to know what happened to Jennifer Kesse. And I'm going to pull two cards. You know, there's a whole lot of information on this timeline that's really irrelevant because they didn't make no arrests. So, we're going to go past that right now. And we're going to get down to what happened to Jennifer Kesse, the who, what, where, when, and why. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I drop my Astro Oracle Psychic investigations. If you are new to my channel, welcome. I am Supreme. I am a high-ranking Astro Oracle Psychic. I communicate with the living and the dead, as you will see in my readings. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you'll be notified when I drop my Astro Oracle high-ranking investigations, psychic investigations. Also, if there is a case that you would like me to cover, feel free to suggest it in the comments or via my email. In the description below, you will see, if you want a personal reading with me or a personal investigation, you will see all of my contact information in the description below. You will see all of the readings that I do, the pricings of those readings, and my contact information and forms of payments that I accept. All of that is in the description below. So, what happened to Jennifer Kesse? I do have her planetary alignments in front of me. I have the day she was born, May 20th, 1981, and the day she disappeared, January 24th, 2006. And I will be speaking from the planetary alignments of those charts after I pull these cards. So, what happened to Jennifer Kesse in two cards? What happened to Jennifer Kesse? What happened to Jennifer Kesse, who was born May 20th, 1981, who disappeared January 24th, 2006? What happened to Jennifer Kesse? What happened to Jennifer Kesse? 1, 2. All right, organized activity in the 9th house. This is the house of foreigners. This is the house of long distance travel. This is the house of churches. This is also the house of colleges and universities. Now, there is an organized activity going on in this house. Organized activity involves sex trafficking. Okay, this could be organized activity of funds from colleges and universities or churches. But when I pull the charts, it's going to elaborate on this organized activity in the 9th house. Now, white collar activity was pulled in the 12th house. This could be a drug dealer. Okay, white collar activity. Y'all know I got my Astro Oracle Index. I have a template for every deck that I created. So this particular deck right here, white collar crime, is fraud, embezzlement, and insider trade. Okay? That is the white collar activity. Now, when it comes out in the 12th house, the 12th house is the house of the hidden. This is also the house where I look to find out about the disappearance, while the 8th house is the house of death. The 12th house is the house of disappearance. This will give me a lot of information on the disappearance. Now, this is also the house of drugs and alcoholism and addictions. This is the house of spiritual warfares. So when white collar activity comes out in the 12th house, this is most likely has a lot to do with drugs and alcoholism. So I want to know who is involved in the disappearance of Jennifer Kesse. Who is involved in the disappearance and possible death of Jennifer Kesse? I'm going to pull 2 cards from my Astro Oracle Who is involved in the disappearance and possible death of Jennifer Kesse? Who is involved in the disappearance and possible death of Jennifer Kesse? Who is involved? It's been 20 years. Okay? I'm almost certain Jennifer Kesse has been unalived. Who is responsible for the disappearance and possible death of Jennifer Kesse? Who is involved in the disappearance and possible death of Jennifer Kesse? Now, she was also a finance manager. So she worked in fields of money. Literally. She managed finances. Now, a friend came out. 2 friends came out. One in her local environment who is most likely a neighbor. This could also be her sibling's friend, because the 3rd house is the house of siblings, but it's also the house of the local environment. So this could, which is also where her car was found, in the local environment of where she lived. It was found a mile away from where she lived. That's considered the local environment. A 3rd house card. A friend came out. So this is somebody that she knew. Now, the friend also came out in the house of friends. The 11th house. That's Aquarius's house. This is the house of friends, organizations, sororities, fraternities, groups, and strangers. Associates. While the 3rd house is the house of community. Now, there are different groups in a community. So this whole entire involvement is community conscious. This is somebody that Jennifer Kesse was well aware of. Why? When I pull the charts, these cards are going to make perfect sense. Because I also wrote down what I saw in the charts. And we're going to get to that when I pull the charts. Why? Why was Jennifer Kesse abducted if she was? Why was she abducted? Why did she disappear? If she was unalived, why? Why would somebody abduct Jennifer Kesse, who was born May 20th, 1981, who disappeared January 24th, 2006? Why? Why? Why was Jennifer Kesse, that came out, let's see what this is, foul play in the 7th house? The 7th house is the house of the partner. Somebody she was actively involved in, a significant other. Now, the 7th house is the house of marriage, but it's the house of partnership. Now, there are many different partnerships, not just marriage. There are sexual partnerships. There are business partnerships. There are travel partnerships. We're going to find out what type of partnership this foul play played out in. The 7th house is Libra's house. That is the house of the significant other. Why? One more card. Why did Jennifer Kesse disappear? And why was she possibly unalived? Why? One more card. Why? That just came out. So we're going to use that. Attack in the 11th house. Wow. This friend and this attack go hand in hand. I do believe she was attacked. Of course, it wasn't no walk in the park. She did not willingly disappear. There was an attack involved. Now, let's go to the charts. Make sure I put these cards where you can see them. Jennifer Kesse was born May 20th, 1981. On that day, the sun was in Taurus and the moon was in Sagittarius. And when you put a Sagittarius moon in Taurus's house, which is the 2nd house, look what's rising. Scorpio. Scorpio rules the 8th house of death, shared resources, inheritance, taxes. Now, before we go over these cards, let's pull the disappearance chart so everything will make sense as I'm talking about it. She disappeared January 24th, 2006. On that day, the sun was in Aquarius and the moon was in Scorpio. And when you put a Scorpio moon in Aquarius's house, which is the 11th house, Capricorn comes first. There goes Scorpio right there in the 11th house of the attack and the friend. This was her friend. Why? Because in her chart, Scorpio comes first, which represents Jennifer Kesse. The day she disappeared, she showed up in the 11th house of friendships. Now, this is Aquarius's house. Look what comes first the day she disappeared. Capricorn. Capricorn is the authority figure. Capricorn rules the 10th house of authority figures, law enforcement, father figures, somebody that had position and status. Now, we do know Jennifer Kesse had position and status. She was a finance manager. Capricorn energy is the energy of management. Now, where did Capricorn come from? Let's look inside of Jennifer Kesse's chart to see where it came from. Capricorn came from the 3rd house in Jennifer Kesse's energy. This was the friend. This person was a friend of her position. Right? A friend that lived in that neighborhood. This was also a successful individual. Somebody that she worked with. Because being that Jennifer Kesse showed up in the 11th house the day she disappeared, look what's in the 11th house in her energy. Virgo. Virgo is the co-worker. Virgo rules the 6th house of work, employment. Now, this was somebody she had a business partnership with and that she was working with. You know how I know? Because Jennifer Kesse was a Taurus. Look where Taurus is at in her birth chart, in the 7th house of relationships, where this foul play came out at. Look what's in the 7th house the day she disappeared. A family member. Cancer rules the home, family, and the mother. So let me find out a family member has something to do with it. Now, the 7th house, where this foul play is at, this is Libra's house. Where is Libra at in Jennifer Kesse's energy? Right here in the 12th house of the hidden. This white collar individual. who appeared to have to do business with her. White collar activity. I think I went over it. White collar crime. I write down, I have a template for every deck that I use. White collar crime is fraud, embezzlement, insider trade, which has a lot to do with this ninth house organized activity that could have came from churches, universities, colleges, long distance travels, and insider trade, trafficking, organized crime. Hold up. Organized crime is drug human sex trafficking. Look at that, organized crime. Drug human sex trafficking. Energy does not lie. Energy does not lie. And when you create a language that energy can speak through, you become an oracle. Especially if you know how to tune into that energy. Oh, because it will speak. Because it's speaking now. Now, let's pull. Because see, the 12th house, where this white collar individual that committed this crime, that she was in a relationship with this so-called business partner, is a foreigner. Look what's in the 12th house the day she disappeared. Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the 9th house. The 9th house in Sagittarius is where this family member is at. The same family member that's a part of this foul play. In the 7th house the day she disappeared. Somebody in Jennifer Kesse's family has something to do with her disappearance. Somebody in her family. Somebody in her family. Look at the co-worker showing up in the 9th house. That's Sagittarius' house. The person she was working with that showed up in the 11th house. The friend. This was a family friend. And this could have been her father's friend. I even wrote that down. Let me show you. Right here. Jennifer Kesse. This is the information I wrote down from the charts. Because I looked at the charts before I logged on. Which is something I always do. But I never know what's going to come out in the cards. But it always lines up with what I already wrote down. Because I'm an oracle. Now, I wrote down, being that Capricorn comes first. Capricorn is the authority figure, the father figure, law enforcement. Somebody in a position of authority. Including Jennifer Kesse, who was also in a position of authority. Someone in her neighborhood. I wrote that down. And sure enough, someone popped out in her neighborhood. A friend. That is the very first thing I wrote down. Someone in her neighborhood. Now, when the cards actually confirm it, I know I'm on point too. Because I also see it in the charts. And you can't make up what comes out in the cards. Someone from a group of workers. I wrote the fucking shit down. Look at that. Someone from a group of workers. The group is the 11th house. Look what's in Jennifer Kesse's 11th house. Workers. A group of workers. A friend. Somebody that she was acquainted with. A group of workers. You cannot make this up. Now, look in the house of work. You see Aries. This is where it started. Let's look at where Aries energy ended. It ended in the local environment of the day she disappeared. Aries is right here in the 4th house. This was a person that came over to Jennifer Kesse's house. This is a person that was at her house. Mars rules Aries. Look where Mars is. You can't make this up. Mars, the day she disappeared and the day she was born, was in Taurus. Money. Taurus is where the foul play started. This is her business partner from work. Foul play. Business partnership from work. This was her business partner from work who frequented her home and who just may live in that same environment. Somebody in a position of authority just like her. This could have been her boss because the 10th house is the house of bosses. But it also could be somebody affiliated with her father, if not her father himself. I wrote all of that down. Possibly her neighbor or co-worker. I wrote all that down. Someone in a position of authority. Possibly her father or her father's friend. A friend of the family. I wrote all of that down. All of that down. I'm going to pull from my messages right quick. I want to pull 3 cards because I want Jennifer Kesse's energy to elaborate on all these 6 cards that came out. There was an attack involved. Somebody attacked her. They definitely abducted her and attacked her and hid her body somewhere. Jennifer Kesse is no longer with us. I believe she was unalived, which is why they found her car parked at an apartment complex a mile up the road. That guy who got out of her car was the guy who unalived her. Now I'm going to pull these 3 cards, and it's going to elaborate on this case. Somebody watching right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly why these cards came out. Three cards. What happened to Jennifer Kesse in 3 cards? I'm full of this energy now. I can feel it. 3 cards. Infidelity. That foul play. Infidelity. Sharing. Sharing is the 8th house. That is the 8th house. And she is a 8th house person. Sharing. Shared resources with her neighbor. Shared resources. Right here in the house of death. Shared resources. Let's pull one more card. Sex. Human trafficking. You cannot make this up. You cannot make this up. That is exactly what I wrote down. And that is exactly what I showed you. Sex, human trafficking. That is exactly what this organized white collar activity was all about. She was sexually assaulted as well. Now, she may be sold into sex trafficking, which is what this organized activity is. In the 9th house, the house of long distance travels, foreign affairs. If she is alive, which I highly doubt, if she is alive, she has been sold into sex human trafficking. And she is no longer in the States. Now, being that I believe she was unalive, where's her body? A body is a body, whether it's alive or dead. So, where is Jennifer Kesse's body right now? Where is Jennifer Kesse's body? Today is March 17th, 2026. Where is Jennifer Kesse's body? Where is the body of Jennifer Kesse? Where is the body of Jennifer Kesse? Let me slow down. I'm moving too fast. Where is the body of Jennifer Kesse? Where is the body of Jennifer Kesse? Where is Jennifer Kesse's body? Where is the body of Jennifer Kesse? In a vehicle west. I don't think it's her vehicle because I'm quite sure they checked that vehicle. It's not in her vehicle. In a vehicle west of where she lives. In a vehicle west of where she lives. I'm going to pull from my evidence deck to give me some type of license plate numbers or vehicle colors, directions, addresses. Give me some evidence on where Jennifer Kesse's body is at. Evidence. Evidence of Jennifer Kesse's body. Evidence of Jennifer Kesse's body. Evidence. Evidence of Jennifer Kesse's body. Evidence. Evidence of Jennifer Kesse's body. Evidence of Jennifer Kesse's body. Evidence. We have the number 4. A gold vehicle. A gold vehicle. The letter G. A red garment. One more card. The letter S. S. Now this could be S or the number 5. This is S. I know how I write my S's. That's S. SG4, a gold vehicle and a red garment. The letter S, the letter G, the number 4, SG4, a gold vehicle. Now, it said that her body, it came out, her body is in a vehicle west. So, it's a gold vehicle. So, 2 vehicle cards came out from 2 different decks. That wasn't a coincidence. That happened on purpose. Energy doesn't lie. The number 4, the letter S, and the letter G. That could be the name of the car. It could be something on the license plate. It could be the apartment number of where her... There's so many things that this GS4 could stand for. I'm going to leave this reading right here. And I'm going to watch some more podcasts on Jennifer Kesse. This is going to make sense. Whatever doesn't come out in the wash will always come out in the rinse. And that's going to be my reading on Jennifer Kesse. And I'm sticking to it.